Hey there, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 3 money mistakes I have made in the past and I have to work hard to make sure I do not make in the future. That's because this is my tendency, this is my sort of family history. However, I know this is not my destiny and I am working to overcome these mistakes as I have in the past, and I am doing this in order to build a better future for myself and my family. So these are the 3 money mistakes that I have made in the past and I'm working to overcome and not make in the future. Just a quick note on the setting. I am currently in my closet / laundry room because my child is asleep in the bedroom and my beloved current childcare provider is in the living room. So this is the only space I could record uninterrupted, and I just felt like this is so important that I share these money mistakes so that A, if you've made any of them, you're not alone. B, it's just kind of something that I'm hoping to share again in the hopes of inspiring you in your journey or just keeping you updated on me and my journey. So these are the 3 mistakes that I have made in the past and I'm working to overcome in the future in regard to money. So the first money mistake is ignoring the situation. So number 1, from my very first history with money, I learned that ignoring something temporarily makes you feel better. It doesn't do anything about the situation. And in fact, there's no situation that ignoring it doesn't make it worse. So this first happened to me in college when I came out and I saw the amount of student loans that I had. I was like, you know what? And I wasn't making that much at all. And I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to pay attention to those student loans. Fast forward 10 years, still not making a ton of money, still have those same student loans that are now bigger because of the interest that was added onto them. So that was the very first thing that I ignored and it didn't work out so well. So I have definitely learned that there's no situation so bad that ignoring it doesn't make it worse. And on the flip side, that by addressing a situation, even if it makes you feel bad in the immediate, there is no feeling better than having a plan. There's no situation that can't get better by having a plan. So simply addressing that situation is a great way not to make the mistake of ignoring a money problem. And an example of a way that I'm working to address a bad situation is in just recently with the state overpaying my maternity leave benefits and then demanding that I repay them immediately. That's something that's probably the most challenging situation. I'm choosing not to ignore that situation, but to make a plan to deal with it in my time, not in the state's time. So that's a way that I am choosing not to ignore a bad situation, but to make a plan to deal with. The second money mistake I've made in the past that I aim not to make again is just not paying attention. This is closely related to ignoring something, but if you're not paying attention, you're kind of, or in my case, I'm kind of giving it half of my attention. Like I see what's going on, I don't like it, but I'm not really paying attention to it or making any attempt to change what I'm doing. So how this worked for me is exactly how I got into $17,000 of credit card debt back in 2008. What happened simply was cost of living. I was spending on average everyday things like groceries, a car payment, everyday necessities, things like soap, toothpaste, like random stuff, but I didn't have a job to cover those expenses. So they were gradually adding to my credit card balance, and before I knew it, I turned around and I was $17,000 in consumer loan debt. So that is a way that I just wasn't paying attention and suddenly wandered into this terrible situation in regard to my credit card debt. This is so easy to do. It's so easy to just not really pay that much attention. You're not ignoring it. You're kind of seeing those numbers. You don't like them, but you don't know what to do in order to change them. And very much in my current situation, I am aiming not to do that. And the way I do that is by looking at my numbers and forcing myself to take stock of those numbers every single week, every single month. It's awful because I don't like the numbers that I see, but that's the first step to change. If I don't know them, I can't change them. So my goal is always to keep track of them, even if they're not what I like, and to begin to form a plan. And the third money mistake I've made in the past and aim not to make in the future is simply not taking my own earning power seriously. This is something that is kind of, again, a lifelong effort to overcome. I come from a long history of female under-earners in my family, women that just don't take themselves or their earning power seriously. And I see my tendency to this. I know it, and I am aiming to overcome it. And of course, there's always discomfort in change. There's always kind of an unsettling feeling, and it's a gamble every time I step outside something that's normal or accepted, because you never know how it's going to work out, right? But there comes a point when you know that where you are is not where you want to stay. So in the past, how this has kind of manifested itself is I just, not negotiating for a salary. And that's something that's very scary because you're like, oh, well, it could put your whole job offer in jeopardy. And it's very easy to say, oh, well, just negotiate anyway. But when you're actually faced with that and you're like, oh, they might not give me the job, like they might rescind the original offer if I try to negotiate for more. Yeah, and that could be like a $10,000 compounded upon years and years, $10,000 mistake, or maybe a $2 or $3 an hour mistake that compounds year over year. So this is certainly something that I've seen before. It's also, for me, manifested in not taking my own work ethic or not being very sort of positive in my own work ethic. I would call myself definitely a hardworking person, but I haven't always been willing to receive the compensation that I am due. And as a result, my work suffers, my work product suffers, and I just don't take it seriously. And that's something that I'm working on overcoming. It's not an overnight thing, and it's certainly not something that comes easily, but it's something that I'm actively working on overcoming. And that is just by showing up and doing the internal work, saying I am worth more. I am worth this value of my skills, and not simply accepting the lowest offer that I've been given, but saying I am worth more, and then demanding that type of work from myself. That's where it starts. So again, these are money mistakes that are in my past, and I aim not to make them my future. And the only way I can do that is by changing the present. That's all I have control over is today. I try to live in tight compartments. All I have are these 24 hours. And those even aren't even guaranteed. So I just try to live the best I can day to day, minute to minute. So that's what I got for you. Those are my money mistakes. Let me know what your money mistakes are, because if you have always been perfect with your finances and everything is going financially the way it should, this isn't your channel. Like, I am not the channel for you. I am the channel for people who, A, if you just want to kind of see what I'm up to, but B, if you have made mistakes in the past and you are actively working to overcome those mistakes, then this is for you. This is my journey. This is the journey that I've had and the journey that I'm on. So thank you so much if you've watched this far, and I hope, as always, that you'll keep watching. Bye.